All right, Kyle. So if I'm only supposed to be holding one puck in each hand, right? And then anything other than that is not allowed. And then I keep adding pucks to this hand, and I have way too many pucks. I can't even hold on to them anymore. Do you call a penalty on this guy or this guy?
I'm just as confused as the ref in the game.
Well, when you call it on the guy who has what they're supposed to have, you screwed up. Yeah, screwed up.
I mean,
what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast. Deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, Mr. Miyagi style. So welcome. This is Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making this your first listen, and I am sure there's a lot of people throwing this episode on the minute they woke up because we feel your rage, and hopefully we can exert some of our rage. And by the end of it, hopefully everything is calmed down a little bit, but maybe not. This one might sting for 24 hours or so, or until the Avalanche get back on the ice. We'll get to all of it. The Avalanche lose in overtime. And you don't like to blame refs for everything, but there are times in sports where refs have a direct result on the outcome of a game. And that was the case in last night against Nashville. A horrific call, which I still cannot wrap my head around. I think they just got the wrong team. That's where I'm at right now. I think they mixed up the teams, and I don't know how you do that when one team is wearing a white jersey and the other team is wearing a yellow jersey. We'll get to it all, but let's just first things first, follow the show social media outlets, LLPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Questions, comments, concerns, rage emails to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow the show on our YouTube channel over on the YouTube. Just howdy ho waves today. They're not very emphatic. All right, man. Yeah, that you take a I have in my phone like a thing that I just write notes on throughout the game, and then you get to the very end of the game, and it everything that I wrote down is junk now. I mean, it's crap. We'll get to all of it, but when that happens, the Avalanche get called for too many men on the ice 2 times in a row, by the way. And it's like all of a sudden the refs forgot how to ref, and that's the only thing that they're going to call. And the first one that happened, they didn't really show a replay on it that I saw that validated the first one, whatever. The one in overtime, I mean, this thing is going to be looked at over and over again, and I'm waiting for the league to write a letter. I think the Avs are going to get a letter saying we messed up, and the only thing I can hope for is you get a letter stating that and an extra point that comes with the letter, because that's what the Avs missed out on.
Yeah, and that first too many men, you could make a case.
Yeah, I got up at when I didn't see the replay, but
the second one, and this is only blown up because of what they could have called all game long. Blatant calls that they were not calling on the Avalanche, and really generous calls towards Nashville. And for you to call one of the more difficult things to call, it's hard to count all those players and those changes. And for them to call it on us twice,
especially, and it's not even that difficult in overtime. In overtime, there's 2 less players on the ice per team. There's 4 less guys on the ice, so it's not that difficult. And when there's that much yellow on the ice, it's pretty easy to call it. My mind was, I'm like, this can't be real. Like this, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. This is not happening.
And the thing I really don't want is this to make such a big impact that next year this is reviewable.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can micromanage the game that much, because if you make that reviewable, you got to make all penalties reviewable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think they do that, but just the minutia of the game, like even if the Avs had too many men on the ice in the overtime, that was so by the slimmest of margins. Where the puck was, I don't remember who had the puck for the Avs. He was like in front of Kemper. The Avs are making a change. It happens all the time when there's too many men on the ice, but you forgive it if the guy is getting off of. That's what was happening for the Avs. First of all, they didn't have too many men on the ice, and second of all, it was all Nashville. It even for Nashville, if Nashville was making a change and it was pretty close and those guys were getting off, I would be making a case for them. They had dudes almost out by center ice. I can't. This is horrific. It's horrible.
And another thing to make it worse, Burakovsky scores a goal with a man doubled over on the ice, and nothing. And it's, I mean, everybody's mentioned it happened against Vancouver with Calvert. We know, but to have both of those contrasting calls, a very like boom boom play, and then the highlight of Berkey getting a goal with a man doubled over in pain.
Yeah. And you know, from the letter of the law with the Burakovsky goal, like you can't stop the play.
No.
Unless that guy's life is in danger or, you know, serious injury like Calvert. And the Calvert play is kind of what changed everything for the NHL. If it is a head injury and he is bleeding profusely from his head, something like they will call it dead, rightfully so. I don't remember who it was that got hit for Nashville, but it seemed like he got hit in the butt. Like he got a pretty bad, you know, Charlie horse in his butt cheek. You can't stop the play when the offense has possession, because guys who are blocking pucks would just lay down all the time, and pucks and plays would be dropped dead or stopped dead. So you can't really do that. So in that aspect, like they got that right. Okay, good. How you go from getting that play correct to the complete by the end of the game. I don't say this often. One of the worst calls I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it worse is the color of the Nashville uniforms. You know, if they're wearing white, I don't know, maybe it mixes in with the ice a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult to see, but they are wearing neon yellow, mustard yellow uniforms. It's pretty easy to count how many guys are out there when there's only supposed to be 3.
Yeah, and you mentioned you wish that we'd get a letter from the league, which we know the commissioner really well. There's no way he's going to dish out a point.
No.
And what the Avalanche are, like what the NHL is known for, is always following another league in their footsteps. And I mentioned like the reviewing of penalties. They have that because the NFL does it.
Right.
You can also go the route of the NBA, where every game is the referees are reviewed as well, and they're giving what explanations, and like you have to, and there's no real change, but they're held accountable. Right. I would like to see a little bit more of that, and maybe make the referees a little bit more accountable
or accountable or accessible.
Yes.
Refs don't have to do post-game press conferences. They go to their locker room, they shower, they change, they get out of there, and they don't have to answer to anybody or anything.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. I think, you know, most of the time, if the refs were made available for post-game press conferences, it wouldn't be anything like, what did you see on that play? You know, what did you see on this play? But last night, I think they'd be getting, you know, some pretty hard questions, and rightfully so. Interestingly enough, we had someone on Instagram. I want to get his name. I might not be able to go back quick enough and find it. He asked about this, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow, about refs kind of wearing cameras.
Yes.
So you can see their point of view. So we'll talk about that. That's for tomorrow. We can't do it today just because there was a game. So that takes up most of the show. So we will discuss that, and another kind of fun thing, which I teased yesterday, that we'll talk about.
Jebby 40.
There you go. Thank you. I want to give him some dap for him. All right. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Still a lot to get to for last night's game against Nashville. But let's hear from Built Bar quick and then continue. I don't know. My mind is all over the place right now. It's kind of frustrating. But
it's good to let it out, man. It's good to let it out.
I know. But it's the new year, so that means all New Year's resolutions. And if yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plan. Built Bar is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar and maybe even better than a candy bar. Built Bar makes it easiest to stick to your resolution because it tastes so good, unlike other protein bars, which can be chalky, waxy, or even taste like
a chemical spill.
That's right. You don't want to drink those chemical spills. You want to eat healthy, but it just gets so boring. And by week 3, you might be thinking, where is the chocolate? Well, you are in luck because Built Bar is covered in 100% real chocolate. And despite that, it is still good for you. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of protein, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which usually has around 240 calories and 30 grams of sugar. So go to built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off of your order. Once again, the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. So a lot to get to on the game. And like I said, wasn't anticipating talking as much as we are about the end of the game, but Avs were kind of these comeback kids again. This was going to be, they're going for 6 in a row. If they had won this, it would have been all 6 of those games were come from behind wins. Looked like things were going. It took them a little while to get going. Like it was a back-to-back game. You still don't have Landeskog. I do want to mention Bo Byram was not with the team, and they announced that he is not with the team for personal reasons. Personal reasons is a very broad thing. It could mean absolutely anything. So I don't want to say, oh, it could be his head again. I mean, it could be a death in the family. It could be a majority of things. So we're.
Yeah.
Is it saying it's a little iffy?
Okay, you're good. You're back.
All right. Oh, hang on. Hold on. Are we good?
Yep.
All right, we're good. So, whatever it is for Bo Byram, I just hope that it is clearly not serious and he can rejoin the team sooner rather than later. So,
yep. Yeah. Best of luck to Bo Byram and everything he's got going on. It's best not to speculate.
Right.
Give the man his space and his time. We'll be here when you get here.
Right. Exactly. So, so you're going into the game, back-to-back games. You knew that the Avs were maybe not going to be rusty, just needed to find their legs. And then they get down again, 2-0. But then, they as the game went on, they did what they have been doing. They get stronger as the game goes on. And, your stars are doing what they're supposed to do. Nathan McKinnon is starting to rip it up.
Yeah.
He is playing fantastic. Cale Makar is just a demon spawn in the best sense of that term.
Yeah.
Another highlight reel goal from him. It was going in your direction. Everything was going in your direction. And you got to give credit to the Predators. They hung tough. They, I guess if you want to say handed them another point at the end, that's at the end. The totality of the game, it was a good game. I think on both ends, they fought hard, and the Predators gave up the lead, but they got it back, and then they gave it up again, and then so it was a fun game to watch. Overall,
yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, and you're getting Abe Kubel continuing to be really, really effective. You get a goal from Berkey, Kadri, number 1 in the league right now with assists.
Yeah.
You're getting your contributions where it counts. The defensive lapses are an issue. And for anybody keeping score at home, we're sitting at 1-10 on our last 3 games on the power play. Like special teams are continuing to kill us. And we let up power play goals tonight and a crucial one at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Special teams it's our Achilles heel right now. And I'm tired of going from one area of addressing to another. If we could just get everything ironed out, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah, you eliminate mistakes, and this is a win.
Yeah.
And those mistakes are Mikko Rantanen getting a double minor at the towards the end of the game. You can't have that when your team is one of the worst. I think if not for the Arizona Coyotes, the Avalanche would be the worst in league at the penalty kill. So you can't have that. You can't have JT Compher throwing a blind pass again. I say again, Burakovsky did it a couple days ago. That didn't lead to a goal. JT Compher's did.
Yeah,
that led to that was crushing, and that was towards the end of the second period. I think it was like with like a minute left in the second period, and you had all the momentum on your side at that point when that happened. I don't know why he threw that pass like that, but it was just easily collected, and I think that was because how many did Duchesne have on the night? How many did your boy Duchesne? That was no, maybe that was the
first one was the turnover. The nail in the coffin was the end.
Okay. Well, no. Duchesne's first one was on the power play, so this must have been because this was towards the end of the second. So that was
his was off the double minor. Yeah,
Duchesne's was off the double minor. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had mistakes all over the place. Despite that, you were still in the game, and you could have extended the winning streak. So frustration abound. Yeah.
And the passing, these mistakes, it's what crept up early in the season, right after that Chicago game, where passing just looked absolutely atrocious. Like we've never seen the ice before. And that was a huge cause for concern. And you wonder if they're getting complacent. I mean, you're continuing this like come from behind, the record for the home win streak. Like you have all this wonderful, like you have everything streaking in the right direction. You wonder if it's starting to wear on them a little bit, and you could see like they're physically and mentally kind of just going through the motions and just hoping to catch Nashville sleeping. But this is 2 games in a row that they have really embarrassed us.
Yeah. Well, and you know, Soros was good. He was really good, and that's another top tier goalie that the Avalanche had to go up against, and they put up 4 on him when it was looking like, it was going to be a struggle to get 1. And you just wanted them to get 1 as early as possible. You didn't want it to be 2-0 in the third. And then with 10 minutes left in the game, you finally break through and get that 1 because you spent all that time getting 1. And now you have to do it again in a short amount of time. But they didn't. They got that first goal. It was the Abe Kubel goal. 8 minutes into the second, all right, we got through. And then you had the Burakovsky goal. Now you're tied. And then what happens? Everything's going well. And then Compher throws the blind pass, and Kunin, puts one in before the second's over. So yeah, if that doesn't happen, who knows where this game goes. But it doesn't, like, at the end, you had these mistakes. You don't want, they weren't calling a lot on Nashville.
No.
And I think that the Mikko Rantanen double minor was a little bit of frustration because he was getting cross-checked. He was in front of the net and he was getting cross-checked, and they didn't call anything. So the puck was there. It's not like he just took his stick and whacked the dude in the face, but he played it a little bit harder because he didn't get a call, and his stick came up and drew blood, and there we go. So, and oddly enough, Nazem Kadri got hit pretty hard, didn't like a hit that he took, and he kept his composure. He has to keep his composure. So, and he did. So there were penalties, or should have been penalties, all over the place towards the end of that game in the third. And then they nabbed the Avs for a too many men. Like, they killed it. One of the few that they killed, but you were just like, really? We're gonna put the Preds on a power play against one of the worst penalty killing teams in the league for too many men on the ice when you just let 3 or 4 like blatant hits and interference penalties go by. So baffling to me.
And it was a nice howdy do for Jared Bednar getting announced to the All-Star game coaches for him to get 2 too many men on the ice.
Such a joke.
What a coronation for the man.
Such a joke. But they had some things to say about it, and I'll read those off to you from their post-game press conferences. But first, we're going to hear from Primal Origin Oils. And if you got a beard, you got to get Primal. That's right. If you got a beard, get Primal. If you or someone that you care about has a beard, it needs to get Primal. Maybe you are that guy that's never considered the benefits of treating your beard with a product. Primal Origin Oils will stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed. The products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients and with a low impact on our planet. Primal Origin Oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butters that are renowned as the best feel in the beard product business. All products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the USA, and the combo kits make a great gift for Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, who has a birthday coming up, and for myself, who has a birthday coming up next month. I mean, just saying.
We got beards.
We have beards, and we're getting Primal. So go to primaloriginoils.com, use the promo code Locked On, and you'll get 20% off of your order. Once again, website is primaloriginoils.com. Use the promo code Locked On for 20% off of your order. All right, let me bring up some statements. There's just a few that I've found. Cale McCarr saying this is the most frustrated our group has been all year. It's not fun when a game ends like that. Some guys were pretty livid with how that ended. So coming from him, he's a pretty docile guy. He tells it like it is, but he'll give you the answer of like what you kind of want to hear, like most hockey players do.
Mm-hmm.
But he comes right out. And he said it didn't look like it was too many men on the ice for me. Jared Bednar, Jared Bednar, we're frustrated. I still haven't seen the too many men, and I've already looked at the video. So minutes after he went to go look at the video in the locker room, and he didn't even see it. I don't think. Because it's not there, Jared.
It's not,
There's nothing to see. I don't know, man. So they're not happy. You'll probably see some more comments come out. We'll talk about them tomorrow, obviously. But for now, short term, this is a frustrating way to lose.
Yeah. And you don't want to put the game in the hands of the refs, but you also don't want the refs to take the game out of your hands. Yeah. And that's what we ran into. We had to kill off too many men going into overtime. And for us to kind of push that away and go 4-on-4 down to a 3-on-3 and then back to 4-on-3. It was just a weird overtime, and overtime, like, we finally started finding success, but it's still not our greatest. So, I mean, it puts us really behind the 8 ball here. Not the way you want to go out.
Nope. As far as stats go, it really jumps out. Kadri with the 2 assists, obviously, so he's leading the league. Is McDavid even playing? Did he even play as we're recording this to maybe like overtake him? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Abe Kubel, a goal and an assist. He's playing with some confidence right now. So Nichushkin, I said for the first game, and that I just wanted to give him a game to get back in the swing of things. I thought he played much better.
Yeah.
Against the Preds. He was his usual self. O'Connor, again, Logan O'Connor can do so much and not have anything show up on the stat card. And that's fine. That's fine. But he even had another opportunity at a shorthanded goal.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome.
And try to wrap around. Almost had that too.
Yeah. Almost had the wrapper. Yep. Had that. And then on the defensive end, the only one with points, Sam Girard had 2 assists, and Cale McCarr with a 3-point night, 2 assists, and that sweet goal that he had on Saros. That was awesome.
And you could kind of notice the absence of Darren Helm as well. He was also a before game scratch as well. And you could kind of notice when it came to the shifts and the depth that he wasn't out there. You could kind of feel it.
Yeah. So the Avs will have 2 days in a row off. And after that, it's every other day. There is a game for the rest of January. So, and who do we say is their next game up?
We got Arizona.
That's right. The back-to-back to Arizona. So I kind of feel bad for Arizona because in that, the first game, at least the first game, both games you would hope, but that first game, when you hear someone like Cale Makar be as animated as he is, that, this is a frustrating loss, the most frustrating we've been, they are going to take it out on their next opponent, and just so happens to be the worst team in the league. Would not surprise me if the Avalanche, hang double digits on, or they're at least going to try to.
Yeah.
Because this is an angry loss, because you lost you win this and you were in first place.
Yeah.
You were in first place still with like 4 games in hand.
Yeah.
And you've tied them. You'd be tied in points, but you would have a better win percentage. Everything, and all of that still is in play. You know what I mean? But it would have been nice. It would have been so sweet to see the Avs number 1 in the division, and now it just has to wait a little bit longer. And Arizona is going to catch the brunt of the frustration.
Yeah, and it would be nice, especially where we were just a couple of weeks ago, where we were looking up and we were bouncing in that wild card spot. Like Minnesota seemed like 2 years ahead of everybody, and we finally caught up. We're right there in the mix. And we talked about earlier in the episode, the power play looks atrocious. What better way to improve the power play than the worst penalty kill in the league? And what better way to improve our penalty kill, so we're not so close to Arizona, than against a back-to-back against Arizona. So,
and the funny thing is, like, the Avs power play is still top 10 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just more recent that they're struggling, but that's all that matters right now. You know what I mean? They're top 10 because they did so well in the past. That's keeping them afloat in the top 10. What have you done for me lately? As far as the power play goes, not much.
And the reason we bring it up, like, you think 1 out of 10, that's 9 goals you're leaving on the ice, 9 perfect opportunities for a goal. And we'll point out everybody's missed chances. When we say you're 1 for 10 in your last 3 games, that's 9 goals spread against those 3 games that you could have had. And that means a lot, especially if you're having to come from behind every game at this point.
All the time, yeah. I mean, it's fun, and it's exciting, it's entertaining to watch. I don't want to get used to this.
No.
Like, I want to be in the lead for games and play with a lead. This is fun to watch every once in a while. 6 games in a row of this is way too much. So let's jump out to a lead, and the team that you're going up against, take advantage of that. They're bad. Take advantage of it. Don't hold back. You know what I mean? You had the opportunity to do that against Seattle, and you didn't. And you had to fight tooth and nail to come back on that team. So I don't want to see 2 comeback wins against Arizona. It's not necessary.
That would be a huge red flag that something's wrong. Like, if we have to have 2 comeback games against Arizona, like, something's seriously up. This isn't just something cute that we have to come back and do. Like, we have a problem when it comes to the first period.
I was going to say, like, if it's consistent for those 2 games where you're getting behind early, then that's the issue. Like, why are we starting off so slow? And it's nice that you're getting stronger as the game goes on, but why can't you take that end of the game, the energy you have then, and bring that into period 1? That's what needs to happen for the Avs.
Flip it around. It makes it a lot easier on your body.
Yeah. So, all right, that's gonna do it. So I'm actually happy that the next 2 days the Avs aren't playing, because I need to sit with this, and I'm going to be like glued to social media and NHL.com to see what comes out of the front office and saying, "Oops, we screwed up. We're sorry," and it does no good anymore. For it's whatever.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the league says about this game, if anything. And I'm so glad that you got me through an episode without having to say that man's name that ruined my night.
Matthew Shane. All right, everybody. It's going to wrap it up for us for today, but we'll be back tomorrow. And if there is anything that the league has announced, we will absolutely be talking about that. So tune in tomorrow, and thank you for today, making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. Go check out Locked On NHL for all the updates going on around the league, and maybe even see what they have to say about this Avs Preds game. So, all right, it's going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow.